What is going on, everybody? Blazing here. Welcome back to another Raid Shadow Legends video, and I want to talk about these two events, more specific being the Dragon Tournament that we have with the special conditions, right? Epic Champions only, and the Sand Devils Necropolis, which is going to be starting tomorrow during CVC. The rewards for these two are pretty much the same, and honestly, if I had to say, I would say skip the Dragon and go for the Sand Devils, and here's why. So looking at the rewards here, we're getting almost everything that we would get on the Sand Devils except the 30 Primal Quartz. And to be quite honest, like, what are we going to get? I think on Sand Devils, let's take a quick peek here on the event. It doesn't tell us how many Immortal Soul Coins, but it's usually about 300 to 500, right? Which is basically about a half a summon. So between the two events, I think our energy is spent better in Sand Devils. And now I'm going to do a breakdown and I'm going to explain to you why. So I did 5 runs, right, on Dragon hard mode 10. Now, hard mode, normal mode 20 will probably yield you a little bit better points per energy. But let's just do a quick breakdown with the calculator here, right? So if we got to get to 27, or let's go ahead. First of all, we got 90 done, right? 90 points out of 5 runs. So that's an average of 18 points per run. Okay. Now if we take 2750 and we divide that by, what did we say was 18, right? So that's going to be 152 runs. Let's call it 153, right? So 153. And then we multiply that at 20 energy per run. That is 3,000 energy. Now, the big thing here that I want you guys to pay attention to is that the Dragon event is a 2-day event. The Sand Devils event is a 3-day event, right? We can go back into the calendar here, and you're going to see that this runs for 3 days. So it's going to be easier both for free-to-play players to just use their daily energy, along for everybody else. You may have to dip into a little bit of your gems depending on what you get for points. Now, points wise for the Sand Devils, right? I want to say it's usually, I think, like the team that I run, especially from my account, this is more beneficial to run Sand Devils. And we'll talk about the long-term effects of why we want to run Sand Devils. But for my run, it's usually about 113 points for 40 energy. Or 120 points, something like that. So let's say 60 points, right? This is usually where the points are maybe a little bit higher. I want to say, I think now this has been coming closer to like 5,000, but even at 5,000, right? Or let's say 6,500 for Sand Devils Necropolis. Let's go in at 6,500, right? At 6,500 points needed, and then divide that by, like I said, roughly 60 average is 108 runs. And if we multiply that, right, by the 20 energy, that's 2,100 energy, right, 2,200. So minus the 3,000 that it would cost us for this, we're actually at a positive of 830 energy, roughly, right? So energy-wise, the better investment is definitely the Sand Devils over the Dragon. And again, looking at the rewards, the Primal Quartz, I mean, I thought it was going to be more than this, honestly. And I know I released a video saying, hey guys, you know, this is a good epic team that we have, but I just can't, even with the 2x currently going on, I can't say that this is something I would push. I would definitely just say go for the Sand Devils. Now, regardless of the fact of the rewards, let's talk about overall just utility of the resources that you're going to spend and get back, and what you're going to get back. What is going to be better? Sand Devils is going to give you dust. It's going to give you oils, right? So you definitely want to push that more over the Dragon, where again, if you're running, let's say, a stage 10 hard mode team, the likelihood of you getting a upgrade is going to be very minimal, especially because unless it's a 3x speed, farming any sort of Dragon or any other dungeon, to be quite honest, is pretty much dead to be done. there is no need for you to be farming any of these dungeons anymore. And that's a whole nother topic within itself. Now, as for if you were to do stage 20, right, and just say hard modes or normal mode stage 20, yes, the rewards and the energy per use might be better, but the energy is also going to be a lot more, right? So with that in mind, I again, I do not suggest going for this event. It is not worth it at all. I would definitely put my time and energy into Sand Devils. And if that's not enough, then think of it this way. Tomorrow is CVC. It is a non-PR CVC. A Sand Devils 25 team is going to give you more points for CVC over a Dragon 10 or a Dragon 20, right? So that alone, if you need to try to get to that, last reward for CVC, this definitely does help. And if that wasn't enticing enough for you, as you can see here, for objectives with CVC, we are going to be getting more points for, not a lot, but it's 20,000 points. And I always try to hit these up when possibly can, but you are going to be getting an extra 20,000 points if you do this. And this is basically leveling up gear. This is crafting gear. No, sorry, not crafting. Leveling up gear and ascending gear, right? So using the mats that you get from Sand Devils, it is definitely 100% better to go for that over the Dragon. And again, I think the rewards for Dragon are not worth it. The Sand Devils is definitely 100% worth it, and I would definitely suggest you go for that. Now, the one thing I really do want to push with this is I feel like the rewards are definitely a miss with these events. These events are very, very challenging, and I would really love to see not just better rewards on the right side, but just something to work for, right? Let's make it a little more interesting. Like if we're going to have to go and put the work and effort to try to farm a hard team or with just epics and make it more challenging for ourselves, I feel like we should be getting it for something more. Give us an avatar, right? Give us, I don't know, make the points. If you're gonna really try to put the time constraint and really try to put these restrictions on the tournament, make it worth it for us to say, you know what, we're going to spend our energy here over not, because the point slots that we're going to get for CVC and the overall utility of the resources that we're going to get back are not really worth it for Dragon, right? Again, the dungeons are dead because of all the 9P sets that we have. So trying to farm that is not really worth our energy. So again, I hope that Plarium listens to this. They take some of the feedback. You guys can let me know in the comments below. What would you like to see for top tier rewards on the right side? I'm not talking about, over here. Like these are all pretty much a joke. If you look at like the global leaderboards, yeah, a Void Shard and a Legendary Book, I'm good. Thanks. I'm gonna pass on it. It's not even worth it, right? And the fact that it shows you that they're at only 2,800 points, it pretty much tells you no one is interested in it. So again, it's a total miss with this. It's a 100% skip for the Dragon and a 100% go all in for Sand Devils. Join us every Sunday, 2 p.m. EST for the Knights of Teleria podcast, where we dive into the world of Raid Shadow Legends, discussing everything from free-to-play strategies to pay-to-win insight, and covering the journey from early to mid-game. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned player, we have something for everyone. Don't miss out on the Knights of Teleria podcast, the only podcast for Raid Shadow Legends. As always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys next time.